ever wonder how people who dedicated their lives to public service ended up becoming millionaires? How did Dianne Feinstein serve over 30 years in Congress but die with about $80 million in assets, when a senator's salary is like $174,000 per year? And that was in 2009. It was like a lot less when she first started. A lot of people call it insider trading. And as a lawyer, I have to say, technically it's not insider trading, but as a person, it's totally insider trading. Legal definition of insider trading is that you cannot have someone on the inside of a company who knows there's going to be big news about that company use the knowledge to make trades on the public stock exchange and make a ton of money. If they know something's going to change and make a stock go way up or way down, and they know it before the public knows it, it's unfair for them to make money off of that because we're all in it together. Like, it's not fair that they make money off of us not knowing what's going on. Well, what about people who make laws that can influence the company's stock? They obviously have knowledge about the law because they're writing it, and they have knowledge before it becomes public. So can they use that knowledge to trade on stocks? For example, if a lawmaker knew that they were about to outlaw something like Facebook accounts below the age of 25, and they knew that the news of that law would cause Facebook stock to collapse because all these advertisers would pull out, then the public would freak out and start selling Facebook stocks so the price would go down. If a lawmaker knew that and then sold Facebook stocks before the law was public, isn't that insider trading too? Legally, no, that is not insider trading. And legally, that is not illegal in any way. They're allowed to do it, and they've been doing it for decades. One of the most famous politicians known for doing this is Nancy Pelosi from California. She made millions off of this tactic for decades, but she did it through her husband. See, she never actually traded the stocks herself, but somehow her husband always knew about the right stock moves and the right laws and policies that would go into effect perfectly. He perfectly timed the Nvidia stock before even industry leaders knew what was going to happen with Nvidia. His track record is so good that there are stock funds, like companies that take your stocks and invest for you. And what they do is they only base their trades off of what he's doing. Like, they look at his stock trades and like, that's what we're doing. We're doing that. We're doing exactly what they make a ton of money that way. So this guy named Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri decided to write a bill that prevents that kind of behavior. He called it the Preventing Elected Leaders from Owning Securities and Investments Act. PELOSI Act. PELOSI Act. In the PELOSI Act, senators and representatives of the federal government are not allowed to own or trade stocks when they're in office. Even their spouses are not allowed to own or trade stocks when they're in office. To me, that seems pretty fair because going into public service shouldn't be a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not fair that you guys know stuff that we don't know, and you make millions off of the ability to know things that you didn't tell us. That's like not fair. But my favorite part of this bill is the penalty. If you make money off of this insider trading when you are a senator or House representative, all of your profits go right back into the government's pocket. That's right. Maybe now we can finally pay off our multi-trillion-dollar national debt. So when does this law go into effect? Well, right now it passed the committee, which is like a small group project thing. Like, in the Senate, they have like a few people that come up with this law. And if they all agree, they get to present it to the rest of the Senate. And if the rest of the Senate likes it, then they can vote and send it to the House. And if the House likes it, then they send it to the president. President gives his little John Hancock, and we have a law. I think the most telling thing is going to be which senators vote for this and which senators vote against. I think it's super ironic to have the senators in the first place voting on whether or not they can prevent themselves from unfairly making millions of dollars. So we're really testing the system here. But let's just hope they do the right thing. All in all, it sounds like a good bill, but I'm hearing some people don't like it. So I'm wondering what you guys think. Is there some sort of blind spot that I'm not seeing? Is this really, really, really good for the country? Is there something that I'm totally missing? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.